Welcome back to Media Mesh, where I give you my unapologetic opinion on everything from music, movies, news, reality TV, and so much more as we go down the rabbit hole. I hope all of you are well. And obviously, at this point, everyone and their mama knows that the juice is gone. So many mixed opinions, but what I'm going to do during this video is remind you of a video that OJ made where he says, well, hypothetically, if he did do it, this is what happened. So this is probably one of the most bizarre things for any person to do. But at the same time, I'm assuming that there was some level of guilt, obviously a great level of guilt. And it also goes to show you just how much can be accomplished with the justice system. Unfortunately, that's going to be the determining factor whether you go to jail or not. How much can you afford to get the right lawyers to come up with a scenario that creates doubt in the minds of the jurors? So this is something that, I didn't think was wise for him to do, but same time, here it is. Of course, right now, there's a lot of mixed opinion. You got Bruce Jenner out there talking about good riddance, and I can understand from that standpoint. Obviously, he knew the family, I'm assuming. But at the same time, he also unalived somebody and paid $800,000, something like that, to the family so that he could get away with unaliving somebody. So you're definitely a hypocrite. So this is something that I think you might have want to stayed out of, right? And on the internet, people calling him Mrs. Doubtfire. And I've seen some interesting comments about that situation. But yeah, everything doesn't deserve, a comment if you don't expect to get public backlash. So we're going to get into this hypothetical confession, and it's kind of sad. But injustices happen every single day. So lest we forget, this is a situation where it involved a black man and a white woman. But at the same time, how often do we see people of color, I guess we want to say color folk, however you want to put it, melanated folks go to court and they don't get off. So he spent every dime he had at the moment to resolve the situation. And apparently there's money that's still owed to the family. But, no matter how you see it, it is what it is. This was something that was definitely polarizing at the time. I think, that as they said, I guess the trial of the century. So in some respects, it could be just theater, because before this, I don't know that was a thing. Some people believe that she didn't. Again, this is just conspiracy, so don't trip. But some people say she's really Megyn Kelly. Some say it didn't happen at all. I don't know. But what we do know is what OJ had to say himself if he hypothetically did this. Very enlightening. And it's so crazy because he also pretty much allowed himself to be entrapped by this interviewer. She did a great job. You'll see what I'm talking about. If you've never seen this video before, you want to stay tuned and enjoy. Let's go.
6 uninterrupted minutes. OJ puts himself hypothetically at the scene of the crime.
The chapter 6 is called The Night in Question. Mm-hmm. And you write in the book, now picture this and keep in mind that this is
purely
hypothetical.
Yes.
Why don't you tell me what might have happened on the night of June 12th, 1994? And let's just walk through the night.
Well, first of all, this is very difficult for me to do this. It was very difficult for me because it's hypothetical. I know and I accept the fact that people are going to feel whatever way they're going to feel. They're going to, whatever they want to feel. In the book, the hypothetical is
Charlie pulls out.
Charlie. This guy Charlie shows up, the guy who I had recently become friends with, and I don't know why he had been by Nicole's house, but it told me you wouldn't believe what's going on over there. And I remember thinking, well, whatever's going on over there has got to stop, right? So we kind of hooked up together, and I'm kind of broad stroking this. We go over. Get in the Bronco and go over.
Let's just go back and do the details. Where did you park?
Let's do the detail.
You parked
in the hypothetical in the alley.
Right. You park in the alley.
Yeah.
And you put on a wool cap and gloves.
In the hypothetical, I put on a cap and gloves.
Right.
Yeah.
And you reached under the seat for
a knife. I always kept a knife in the car for the crazies and stuff because you can't travel with a gun. And I remember Charlie saying, "You ain't bringing that." And I didn't, right? But I believe he took it.
Charlie took the knife?
Yeah. In the book.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the back gate, you go through the back gate.
Yes.
And it was open or broken or?
I don't recall.
Okay.
I go to the front and I'm looking to see what's going on. And I can see that it appears like Nicole had candles all the time. She really did, to keep her overhead down, I think. And music was on. And while I was there, a guy shows up. You know?
So Ron Goldman comes in the back gate.
Yeah. A guy that I really didn't recognize. I may have seen him around, but I really didn't recognize him to be anyone. And in the mood I was in, I started having words with him.
He says to you, "I just came by to return a pair of glasses. Judy left them at the restaurant."
Yeah, words to that effect, yes.
And he was
I don't know if I believed it or didn't believe it. It was pretty much immaterial because, I was more concerned about everything that was going on, and was fed up with it, I guess. And
you get into a fight. Nicole comes out.
A verbal
fight.
Got a little loud, and by that time, Nicole had come out, and we started having words about who is this guy, why is he here, what's going on.
And she says, "This is my house. Get the F out of here."
Yes, and which I didn't like because, once again, this is the same person. And if you read the book, you'll see some things that happened in the 2 weeks leading up to this that were very, very irritating, and I think Charlie had followed this guy in, wanted to make sure it was no problem. And he brought the knife. As things got heated, I just remember Nicole fell and hurt herself. And this guy kind of got into a karate thing. And I said, "Well, you think you can kick my ass?" And I remember I grabbed the knife. I do remember that portion, taking the knife from Charlie. And to be honest, after that, I don't remember, except I'm standing there and there's all kind of stuff around and
what kind of stuff?
Blood and stuff around. I hate to say this, but this is hypothetical. I'm sorry.
Right.
I know we got to back up again.
Right. That's okay. I want to back up.
This is hard. This is hard.
I know. I want to back up to
try to make people think that I'm.
I know. You wrote in the book, "I had never seen so much blood in my life."
Yes.
Covered. You're covered. The scene. Can you describe it?
It's hard for me to describe it. I'm telling you. I don't think any two people could be murdered the way they were without everybody being covered in blood. And of course, I think we've all seen the grisly pictures after. So yeah, I think everything would have been covered in blood.
And what goes through your mind at a time like that?
I don't know. It's like, what happened?
Right. You write about removing a glove before taking the knife from Charlie.
I had no conscious memory of doing that, but obviously I must have, because they found the glove there.
And blacking out. Have you ever blacked out before?
Not to my knowledge. No. Of course, if something like this would take place in anybody's life, if it were to happen, I would imagine it's something that you would probably automatically have trouble wrapping your mind around it. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible.
Staggering first-hand details about the crime scene, which he says are hypothetical.
You wrote in the book, "I had never seen so much blood in my life."
Yes. It's hard for me to describe it, I'm telling you. I don't think any two people could be murdered the way they were without everybody being covered in blood.
Then you see bloody footprints and you decide to take off.
Yes. Actually, I believe Charlie kept saying, "We got to get out of here."
And in the book, you describe taking off your shoes, your pants, and your shirt and dropping it in a bundle. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And do you remember what happens
Because what are you going to do with it? Somebody's got to get rid of, as you may have called during the trial, is that wear the bloody clothes. So somebody had to get rid of the bloody clothes.
Right. And you had left your keys and wallet in your pants pocket, and you had to go back and get it.
To be honest, I think I know that to be true. Yes.
And Charlie is hysterical, screaming, "Jesus Christ, OJ, Jesus Christ!" And you tell him to shut up.
Yeah, he's in a panic. He was in a panic, and I'm telling him to shut up. Let's get out of here.
So you get back in the car. You take in your clothes, put them in the bundle,
and drove back and parked a block away because I knew the limo would be there, and came across the backyard through the 2 tennis courts, and came through the house.
So you went through the neighbors.
Yeah, he had a tennis court, then I had a tennis court.
And you go into the house, and what happens in the house?
I ran upstairs to take a shower. I actually ran upstairs and took some of my bags and came back downstairs and put them out front.
All right. So there you have it. Now, I don't condone the unaliving of anyone at all. So if this is obviously something that really did happen, then of course, everyone wants justice to be served, especially if their loved one is taken out in such a manner. So I guess the real question is, what in the world was she doing that was that bad to warrant such a response? But it just could also be his competitive nature. The dude challenging him, knowing karate and trying to be all tough, I guess, was enough to set him off. We do have to keep in mind that OJ's most certainly had an ego of some sort. And it's just crazy that he sat here and said, yeah, I went upstairs, I took a shower, I put the clothes over here, just kind of gave you a play by play, and yet was still able to go throughout society after this like it was nobody's business. But he did do some time, of course, the whole Las Vegas thing. So he did do some time, but of course, you can never get a life back. But hey, listen, let me know what you think in the comments. And yeah, let's talk about this one. Let's go.